2025 is coming to an end, and most people think it's been a complete write-off, confirming 2026 will be a bear market for Bitcoin as well. But a massive multi-hundred billion dollar firm just released a report that you do need to see. Bitwise just made 5 Bitcoin predictions that they expect to happen in 2026, and they may have given us a clue as to what Wall Street is preparing for. And the short of it, guys, is it is pretty bullish. Like it is a great read. Though I will have to caveat a little bit of it before you guys throw tomatoes at me. There is a bit of all right, story. There is a bit of altcoin related stuff, which is why I said 5 Bitcoin predictions. It's really 10 crypto predictions, but I'm only going to cover the ones that actually matter here, in my opinion. So here we go. Here is the, their kind of breakdown of it. The year ahead, 10 crypto growth predictions for 2026. So I'm going to cover the 5 ones that actually relate to Bitcoin, because that's all that really matters. That's the only thing that really matters. Obviously, Bitwise this year has kind of gone, they are like very pro Bitcoin. As the year progressed, they did kind of go a little more, again, hold on, let me see where I'm at. Okay, they did go a little more altcoin-y, crypto towards the end of the year, but I guess, kind of something you'd expect. Anyways, here is the breakdown, of course, predictions for 2026. I just want to read one thing here, which is basically the theme of the whole kind of report, or the predictions for next year, is they think the bulls are going to win out in 2026. The prevailing positive trends, from institutional adoption to regulatory progress, appear too strong and too far-reaching to be subdued for long, which is kind of something that I've been saying. Again, I've been very honest on the show. I have been confirmed bias for you guys here. I have been, talking my book here. I'm convinced that 2026 is probably going to be a little different than 2025. And by that, I mean, it's not going to be a negative year. Now, I know Nico's been saying we might be in unprecedented, uncharted waters. 2026 might also be down. His infamous 30K prediction, which I think is absolute trash. But, that's what makes the show a little spicy, is us not agreeing. Okay, let's go into the first one, which is kind of the prevailing trend right now. I was out here saying that I think the 4-year cycle is over. You've been seeing me and Nico on the show argue whether the 4-year cycle is in place, whether it's not, kind of debating what even the 4-year cycle means, because I think that's kind of where all of the arguments are coming from. On the one hand, if you're saying the 4-year cycle is 18 months after the halving, we see the top, that played out. If you're saying the halving cycle is 3 green, 1 red, well, obviously this year's been a wash. Bitcoin's lost year, it's pretty much in the books. Obviously, there's still some time left in the year, but at this point, unless something really crazy happens, I don't think we can admit that we might see some positive action here. I think this year's a wash. Let's just rack it up as a wash. Look, I'll take the L if things change, but as of now, let's just kind of lock in. Like, let's put 2025 behind us and just go to 2026. Let's just see if 2026 is going to be different. So anyways, this one goes, Bitcoin will break the 4-year cycle and set new all-time highs. Hey, you know me.
No shit.
You know me. Hey, I am the hopium dealer, the reigning hopium dealer here on Simply. So
but they're saying
I do agree.
New all-time highs. I thought it would just break the cycle.
No, new all-time highs. No, new all-time highs in 2026. So not necessarily what everyone's saying, but again, I am in good company here, guys. At first, as I've been telling you, it was just kind of like a gut feeling, gut level. I was just saying, dude, 2026 is going to be bullish. And then more and more people came out, and I have a lot of good people, in company here. It's like Lynn Alden's kind of saying it. Sailor's saying something similar. Obviously, the bankers and institutions are kind of saying the same thing. Wall Street's getting bullish. Now, the Wall Street part is kind of icky, but, I got some good Bitcoiners on my side here. So I'll take that. Probably the majority of people are thinking 2026 is going to be a wash. So you guys know me, I'm a huge Pareto principle guy. And I was joking this morning with Sal, my trainer, and I'm like, I was feeling very good about this idea that the 4-year cycle is going to break. And then I kind of realized that like 80% of the influencers are agreeing with me. So it makes me feel like I'm in the wrong here. I like to be in the 20%, but the majority of people are probably like, it's over for Bitcoin. So I might be safe here. I might be safe. Anyways, let's break this down a little bit. Just going to kind of, I'm not going to read again. I'm going to kind of glaze over this, guys. Like, you guys can read the whole full report. I'm going to just kind of pick a little bit of this to kind of back up what these predictions are based on. So Bitcoin has historically moved in 4-year cycles with 3 significant up years followed by a sharp pullback year. So at least they define what the 4-year cycle is in this regard. I think we can be all in agreement that the 4-year cycle is broken. All our models are broken this year. You know, we did not see 3 green, 1 red. It is 2 green, 1 red, and who knows what's going to happen next year. Obviously, it would be unprecedented if we had 2 red years, especially when the institutions are fully coming in. So I'm still on the, hey, we're going to go up in 2026. Anyways, here is their factors and why they don't see that happening, aka 2026 bear market. And it goes, in our view, the forces that previously drove 4-year cycles, the Bitcoin halving, interest rate cycles, and crypto's leverage-fueled boom and bust are significantly weaker than they've been in past cycles, which is what I was saying yesterday. Obviously, a lot of Bitcoiners have always said the 4-year cycle is driven by the halving, but by definition, the halving every 4 years essentially cuts itself in half, and so it's half as effective as it was in the past. More importantly, we believe the wave of institutional capital that began entering the space with the approval of the ETFs in 2024 will accelerate in 2026, and they expect the combination of all these factors to push Bitcoin to a new all-time high, basically destroying the 4-year cycle. And I'm all for destroying the 4-year cycle at this point because it wasn't good this year. All right, I've been blue balled all year long. It's been boring. Stablecoin, Bitcoin is our stablecoin. It's been a lost year. It's been a wash of a year. It is what it is. That's where we are. Look, I'm packing it in already, guys. Look, I know you guys know me as the most bullish guy on the show, besides maybe Luke, but I'm packing it in for 2025. It's over. It's officially done. 2025 is in the books, okay? I don't think we're going to see crazy action by the end of the year. Maybe after the 26th, we might see some stuff, but Santa rally is no longer in play. I think it's a wash, guys. Maybe we get to the price has been getting a little frothy, but
maybe not a Santa rally, but aren't we waiting for contracts to expire soon?
Yeah, the 26th. That's what I'm saying. After Santa comes and delivers us some coal, we can potentially start to reset the chessboard here. So maybe the end of the year or end of this month we start seeing some action, but
I mean, it might set us up for a beautiful new year.
I'm locking in for 2026. I'm locking in for 2026 right now. I'm starting early. New Year's resolution is now. You can't start your New Year's resolution on New Year's because that's not how it works. You got to lock in before. Okay, anyways, next one. Their next prediction that Bitcoin will be less volatile than NVIDIA. Now, this is where a lot of people that come into Bitcoin, they always say the same thing. Like, oh, I thought Bitcoin is money. It's too volatile. I would never throw my wealth into Bitcoin. It's too volatile. Well, the data for this year is very interesting. It has literally already been less volatile than NVIDIA stock. So it's already less volatile than some of the stuff that people already have gone all in on. So that's the data for 2025, and they're expecting that will also kind of decrease moving forward. That's kind of like the prevailing narrative we've all been seeing for a while, that Bitcoin is, quote, becoming de-risked as we speak. It's never been easier. It's never been more accepted to embrace or save in Bitcoin, invest in Bitcoin. That's just what the data is showing you. And here's kind of a chart here. Volatility, Bitcoin versus NVIDIA. You can see Bitcoin volatility is less than NVIDIA. And if we're being honest, the AI stocks right now are basically the only thing that's driving the entire economy right now. So, Bitcoin is less volatile than NVIDIA already. They're kind of expecting this to go down, which on the one hand, if things play out very similar, they might be right. but I need volatility to the upside. I need volatility back in my life. This being a stable coin has not been fun, though it is something that Saylor's been saying. And I think Saylor is an interesting example right now because of kind of how bullish he's been and his actions right now of stacking so much Bitcoin. It really makes you wonder, does Saylor have some asymmetric knowledge right now? Does he know something is happening? Is this why he's stacking so much coin? Because there was about like a 3-4 months period where Saylor wasn't really able to buy that much Bitcoin. They were doing like, it's still a lot. They were doing like, 100 million buys, and we're like, oh, he's running out of powder. The steam is running out. And then I don't know if you guys saw the data this morning. I shouts out to Daniel Prince, but he did a good graphic just showing he didn't have strategy in there, but every Bitcoin treasury company is down basically on average 90%, which is absolutely insane right now. So yeah, just straight up wrecked out there. But Saylor's been saying this for a while, that he expects with more people coming into Bitcoin, more institutions coming into Bitcoin, basically the Wall Street embrace of Bitcoin, the volatility is going to go down. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of this prediction. Yeah, this one's probably my least favorite one here, but let's keep it moving. Okay, the next one, and again, some of these, it's going to start to get a little shitcoiny here, so I'm going to skip over those ones. But this one is one of the main points I've been saying for the last couple of days, weeks, basically. So ETFs will purchase more than 100% of the new supply of Bitcoin as institutional demand accelerates. Now, there is some interesting little metrics in here. Since the crypto ETFs launch in 2024, we've been right. For instance, since the debut of Bitcoin ETFs in January 2024, these ETFs have bought 710,777 Bitcoin, and over the same time frame, the Bitcoin network has produced just 363,047 new Bitcoin. Again, you can have a 42 IQ and look at this and be like, they're buying way more buying way more Bitcoin than the Bitcoin network is releasing. And as we've been covering, it does seem like the whales are starting to acquire some Bitcoin. I just saw a number this morning that whales in basically the last, couple of days, I think it was last 30 days, have bought like 30,000 coins. So even though they basically sold 4 million, which is obviously a way bigger number, they are starting to accumulate again, which I think is why we're seeing the Bitcoin price be a little frothy right now. Again, the 9 a.m., 10 a.m. Market action right now is really interesting. It does look like whoever has been manipulating, I think we've all thought of it as Jane Street. I think they delayed their sell off because it pumps at market and then 30 minutes later it absolutely just fully retraces. So I like what Bitcoin News said this morning. It's we're seeing a new pattern. It's called the Twin Towers trading pattern because it's just one straight and one completely down. Hey, that's what's going on right now. All right, let's they
call it an Eiffel Tower or something, because it's kind of going, got to go to the right.
I mean, we are totally getting Eiffel Towered right now, so yes, maybe that should have been what they call it. Okay, all right, dude, guys, I'm totally unhinged today. I'm dying over here.
We're very close to vacation.
Yeah, I'm not only vacation, I'm very close to just crashing out.
Close to vacation. Next week you're gonna get a lot of me and Nico. So
yeah, I'm very close to just straight up crashing out on you guys today. So I'm gonna hold it together. I know I'm gonna hold it together. I'm gonna hold it together. Okay, so going further, they go, we think ETFs will buy more than that of each asset, particularly given the recent approvals of spot crypto ETFs. For context, Bitcoin ETFs have already purchased more than $22 billion worth of Bitcoin, and we can already expect that roughly, or rather, about $15.3 billion of new Bitcoin supply will hit the market. So obviously, this doesn't guarantee that there won't be whales that sell Bitcoin. Bitcoin is definitely a supply-demand, kind of pure supply-demand dynamics playing out. But as you start to see and understand that this was the first year that most institutional capital can get into Bitcoin through these ETFs, you could just basically expect that next year that is going to increase. So whether that number doubles, even kind of stays the same, it is going to be very interesting to see how these supply dynamics play out. Now, of course, there is the caveat that, like, what are they actually buying? You know, they're supposedly buying a ton of Bitcoin, but the Bitcoin price hasn't done anything. Are they actually buying Bitcoin? Are we seeing another FTX scenario play out through BlackRock? I don't know if that's what's going on, but the amount of buys that I've seen this year, that are alleged buys I've seen this year, makes me wonder what they're actually buying. Okay.
I think we're on an episode of Punked at this point. if you keep believing that people, like, I saw this headline the other day on Twitter, Saudi Arabia just bought billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin. Like, did they? They
bought the ETF. They bought the ETF.
That's crazy though, because the ETF is supposed to be spot, right? So doesn't that mean that they're supposed to have that Bitcoin?
Yeah, they're supposed to be buying Bitcoin.
Okay, so then why are people buying the ETF? The ETF isn't going up. You know why it's not going up? Because they're not buying actual Bitcoin. So, like, what is the point of that? You're getting the cash, you're getting your trash fiat, like, at least put it into Bitcoin so that it can back up the thing that you're selling, which is just paper Bitcoin. It's also trash, but they don't even want to do that. Like, I just don't understand it. I don't understand why these people are so hesitant. I will put it nicely. They're just so hesitant to buying Bitcoin. When it's good for them.
Bitcoin is for criminals and money launderers.
Right, the banks.
And whatever.
Why? Like, just do it, bro. Just do it. Just buy Bitcoin already. Like, God.
Yeah. I mean, look, I said it all year. I take back any nice thing I said about the institutions buying Bitcoin, because I thought they would pump our bags, and they didn't do that. They're just here trying to steal your Bitcoin.
Larry Fink. You're not the employee of the month anymore. We're taking that title away from you.
Facts. It's over. It's over.
And we're giving it back to Sailor.
No, not at all. Anyway, let's keep this moving. All right, this next one is kind of what Sophie was saying. Their next prediction is half of Ivy League endowments will invest in, and they did use the C word, crypto. And basically, we saw this year, Brown University came out, they bought 5 million in Bitcoin ETFs. And then we saw that Harvard, basically their biggest holding is Bitcoin. Now, obviously, Harvard it seems like a prestigious college. They still have that kind of, authority figure. They're smart. They're one of the smartest ones. And they're basically TLDR is, if Harvard is allocating to Bitcoin, then everyone else will be like, maybe we should too. So they expect that other Ivy League schools, other Ivy League endowments will also start to go into Bitcoin, especially, and their biggest kind of most important and maybe less obvious view here is that endowment funds, particularly the Ivy League ones, are often trendsetters. So are we seeing a trend here where everyone starts to wake up to, hey, I need to actually buy some Bitcoin? Is Harvard going to be able to kind of kick that off? I think this one might be a kind of less kind of effective prediction, but this one's probably going to hold up. And I will look at their 2025 predictions so we can kind of gauge whether any of these will come true. Okay, moving forward, we got, I believe, one more. This one's trash right here. A bunch of crypto ETFs. I think, okay, here we go. Bitcoin's correlations with stocks will fall. Look, one of the things that we've seen this year, though their numbers are kind of, a little different. The data is suggesting that Bitcoin isn't that correlated with stocks. But as we've seen all year, Bitcoin is still kind of treated like a high beta risk on trade. When NASDAQ drops, when SP 500 drops, Bitcoin was also dropping this year as well. But they go on to say, using the rolling 90-day correlations, Bitcoin's correlation with the S&P 500 has rarely topped 0.5. the usual statistical divide lining between low and medium correlation. Regardless, they think Bitcoin's correlations with stocks will be lower in 2026 than in 2025. And the reason, we expect crypto-specific factors like regulatory progress and institutional adoption to power crypto, I'm going to say Bitcoin, even as equities struggle with concerns about valuation and short-term economic growth. So here's a chart here if you want to kind of check their data. Obviously, in the more recent years here, Bitcoin does correlate a lot more with the S&P 500, which I think is probably kind of explained by the fact that Bitcoin has become a macro asset and people are adding it to their portfolios. Obviously, they usually get their trade signals from like the Fed or what happens in the S&P 500, the broader markets. And that's usually why they divest out of Bitcoin early. Bitcoin has been the sniffing indicator here. It's basically been sniffing out everything in the market before. It usually reacts, a lot stronger. But I think in the last few years, we can all kind of agree objectively, there is some correlation with stocks. Now, personally, I do believe Bitcoin is a risk-off asset in the long term. It's completely unparalleled, completely uncorrelated with traditional, TradFi products, but it is currently being kind of treated like just another stock. So unless more people start waking up to the idea that Bitcoin is completely different, I'm not so sure that we are going to completely break that correlation, though I would be very happy to see this one play out. Okay, moving forward, I believe this is the last one. I've already lost count. Oh, that was the last one. Okay, so here is their scorecard for 2025 predictions. And I think here is where we can kind of get an idea of how strong these predictions might actually correlate with reality. I saw someone in the beginning say, predictions are like, like opinions. Everyone has one. So, hey, not saying this is what's going to play out, but I think an interesting view of this is what I said in the very beginning, that seeing what Bitwise is saying is probably not necessarily definitive of what Wall Street is thinking about Bitcoin, but you could argue that these might be some of the frameworks that they're kind of thinking through. This is kind of the lens that they're viewing what Bitcoin is and what it's going to do. So that's why I thought it was important to kind of talk about this today. So, and of course, like 2025, it's a wrap. All right. 2025 is over. I know we got 20 days, 10 days, 15 days, 13 days? I don't know. Math's hard right now.
12.
Okay, 12 days.
13.
Yeah, dude, we're not going to see the historic Bitcoin rally in the next 10 days. It's, call me a bear all you want. I'm already looking forward to 2026, okay? It is what it is. I'm going to tune out next week. I'm going to go hang out with the family for Christmas. Dude, this year's done for me. It's a wrap. I had enough. I can't deal with it anymore. Okay. But here, let's look at their predictions from.
We're finally gonna go touch some grass, everyone.
Yeah, exactly. Finally touch some grass. Okay. Yeah, we got spanked, dude, for real. We got cooked. This year.
Yeah.
Completely cooked. Hey, all right. Okay. All right. 12 days of Bitcoin. I do like the what are those cartoons, like the 21 days of Christmas,
Christmas carols?
No, the animations, I like the correlation. So I'll hold out some hope. Okay. I'll hold out some hope, guys. Okay. Don't shame me. Okay.
Hopium.
I will hold out hope.
The last bits of hopium that we have left of the year.
I'm on fumes here, bros. Like I'm trying to hold out, but I'm cooked today. Okay. The gym's killing me. The price is killing me. The news is killing me. I'm done. I'm up to my wit's end. All right, guys. You guys can shame me all you want, dude. 2026, dude. All right. I'll be vindicated in 2026. Hopefully. Oh, fingers crossed. Okay.
Yeah, just honestly stop talking.
Okay. Here's their scorecard for 2025 and their predictions in 2025. Their first one was Bitcoin and some shit coins will hit new all-time highs, with Bitcoin trading above 200K. They gave themselves a C. It did hit all-time high. It just wasn't as bullish. So, they were a little overly bullish, which, hey, can you really blame them? Okay. The next one was Bitcoin ETFs will attract more flows in 2025 than they did in 2024. They gave themselves a D because that was in fact not the case. In 2024, the spot Bitcoin ETFs pulled in 35.4 billion, and in 2025 it only pulled in 22.4 billion. So there's that one. This one was completely wrong. This one was absolutely an F, and it says Coinbase will surpass Charles Schwab as the most valuable brokerage in the world, and its stock will top $700 per share. Not even close. Coinbase stock was $44, and this year, if I remember correctly, Charles Schwab came out and said, we're going to embrace Bitcoin. So complete F. And then 2025 will be the year of the quote crypto IPO, with at least 5 crypto unicorns going public in the US. They were actually, right about that one. Then this one is just absolutely dog shit. Tokens launched by AI agents will spearhead a meme coin mania even bigger than in 2024. Gave themselves an F. Dude, altcoins are cooked. They're absolutely done. It's over for altcoins. Do not be buying altcoins. I don't know if you guys saw this morning, or maybe it was last night. It was actually last night, but Coinbase announced that you can now trade stocks on Coinbase. So even Coinbase, the mother of shitcoin gambling, has kind of thrown in the towel on altcoins. And they're like, okay, look, this altcoin stuff is no longer profitable. Everything's been in a bear market. There's not going to be another altcoin season. They're like, let's add stocks. Let's add stocks. I think I saw another tweet that said something on the lines of Robinhood became Coinbase. Coinbase became Robinhood, and they're all getting wrecked right now. And now they're all trying to find a new business model here because, dude, everything is gambling. Literally everything is gambling right now.
I still have my predictor, which is that when all of the Bitcoin moms give birth, the price is going to go up.
Well, all right, guys, you heard it here first.
Don't knock it until you see it. We're in the home stretch. So maybe the beginning of 2026 might be that month for us. Maybe.
All right, boys, you heard it here first. We all got to knock up some baby mamas.
The thing is, they just have to be Bitcoin maxis. That's the only.
There's literally like 5 Bitcoin women.
No, you gotta convert them.
Oh, that's easy.
See, I wasn't born a Bitcoin maxi.
Dude, I convert them all. All right. Let's keep going. Okay. The number of countries holding Bitcoin will double. They gave themselves a C, though, the U.S. did kind of establish the strategic Bitcoin reserve. The United Arab Emirates, Luxembourg, Czech Republic, they all did announce some pretty huge Bitcoin moves this year. So, close, but no cigar. And then they gave themselves an A. Coinbase will enter the S&P 500, and Strategy will enter the NASDAQ 100, adding crypto exposure to nearly every U.S. investor portfolios. This, in fact, did happen. Coinbase is in the S&P 500 since May. Strategy in the NASDAQ 100 in December of 2024. And they stayed. And, they're not actually going to get delisted. So there's that one. The U.S. Department of Labor will relax its guidance against crypto and 401k plans, enabling billions of dollars to flow into crypto assets. That's an A. Stablecoin assets will double to $400 billion as the U.S. passes long-awaited stablecoin legislation. Well, they passed the Genius Act. So a C, but it is what it is. I don't think they really got the 400 billion by year end. Close, but no cigar, as they said. And then these last one, let's see the bonus one. In 2029, Bitcoin will overtake the 18 trillion. All right, it's like a $29 trillion gold market now. So they're going to circle back to that one in 2029. Probably a good take. Now, I think, obviously, they're predictions. No one has an idea. It is just kind of a framework for what's going on. But I think the general kind of takeaway of this is the majority of Bitcoiners don't really, I think, in the current moment, that we are still kind of working on old heuristics here. And we're not really factoring in the grander macro cycle going on, the business cycle going on. And this is partly why I think that the Bulls will win in 2026. So that is kind of my takeaway. I do agree with this. I am confirming my bias. I'm very honest and transparent on that. Like, I am bullish for 2026 at this point. Can't be more bearish than 2025. I mean, wait, you can be more bearish. It could be more bearish, but
stop talking. Stop. Actually, maybe keep talking because the reverse opti effect has been proven to also be a thing. Every time you're like, we're gonna rip, we literally dumped.
Hey,
so
dude,
I blame Opti.
It's my cross to bear here.
I in the words of Nico, I blame Opti. And
yeah, it's all my fault, guys. I'm the market maker. I'm the one you need to out trade. You know me, I'm trading on the 1 minute chart out there, so you need to out trade me.
We're all looking at the 1 minute chart out there, like straight up. I feel like a degenerate because all I do is look at the 1 minute chart now.
Dude, it's a good bit, guys. It's a great bit. I'm glad it caught on. I'm glad you guys love the 1 minute chart bit. I thought that was hilarious. But anyways, inverse opti. Okay, guys, inverse opti. All right. Hey, I'll take one for the team. I'm not bearish, but right now I'm just like, can we fast forward the next 12 days? Can we just get into 2026? Because 2025 was brutal. I tried to stay positive all year, dude. I just need a break. All right. I need the Christmas break and then I'll come back bullish.
It was just so disappointing. I don't know. I think that we all thought that it was going to be the biggest bull run, especially because we all got cut short in 2021 with the China mining ban. We thought that this time there are no obstacles in our way. In fact, all of the things are in our favor this time for once. And it turns out that everything being in your favor does not affect the price.
Yeah, I'm going to really crash out in the news segment for you guys. Where we're seeing some political stuff and it's absolutely horrible. Anyways, let's keep the show moving. For the numbers, guys, I do have Ray Dalio just went on, I believe it was CNBC, if I remember correctly. And he is absolutely bearish on everything. He's like, it's over. He basically is saying it's over for not just Bitcoin, but like every market right now. I want to play it to kind of break down what I'm seeing and how I think this is actually bullish for Bitcoin. And the news, again, we got an interesting kind of rumor coming out of Capitol Hill, which is absolutely ludicrous. It is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. So we're definitely going to cover that. And then to wrap up the show, I got some data for you guys about, what's going on in prices and assets. And then Elon Musk said literally the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life on Twitter. And so I'm going to combine the two here. But on that note, I do want to remind you guys to smash the like button, of course, comment on the show. Let me know what you think. Like, give me some moral support for once, okay? Like, is there hope for us in 2026? And then, of course, subscribe to the channel, guys. We drop the best content. Period. I'm not even gonna say that humbly anymore. We got the best stuff over here. All right, guys. Also, shouts out to the boys over at Bitcoin Well. If you are sitting on the sideline, if you are looking at these dips here, and you somehow still have dollars on the sideline, make sure you go to Bitcoin Well. And the reason we love them is because they have never lost Bitcoin. They will never lose Bitcoin because they never hold your Bitcoin. Once your dollars go through, it goes straight to you in your Bitcoin wallet. Yes, you do need a Bitcoin wallet, which is an extra step, but it's a necessary step. As I tell you guys constantly, it's not enough to just get Bitcoin exposure. You need to actually hold that Bitcoin under your control, aka in self-custody. This is the way. This is how you ensure that Larry Fink and Jamie Dimon and whatever other FTX, BlockFi, Celsius fraud doesn't get your Bitcoin. It's because you don't leave your Bitcoin on the exchange. All right, guys, quick commercial break, and we'll be right back.
I want to give a shout out to our partner, StampSeed. Is your Bitcoin in cold storage really secure? Are your seed phrases really secure? StampSeed's do-it-yourself kit has everything you'll need for you to hammer your seed words into commercial-grade titanium plates. Instead of just writing them down on paper, paper is fragile. Titanium plates are strong. Your words are actually stamped into the titanium plate with this hammer and these letter stamping tools. Once the words are in, they aren't going anywhere. No risk of the plate breaking apart and pieces falling everywhere. Titanium stamp seeds will survive nearly triple the heat produced by a house fire. They're also crush-proof, waterproof, non-corrosive, and time-proof. And now you can customize your titanium seed plates. You can upload your design or logo and they will laser engrave it on the back of your seed plate, the opposite side of where the words are. Stamp your seed on StampSeed and use promo code SIMPLY to get 15% off anything on the stampseed.com store.
Dude, guy, Zen Kid. You asked me to make a poll. I'm asking what poll should I make, bro? Not you make the poll. All right. Anyways. The current Bitcoin price is 86,510.
Why was that so aggressive?
I don't know. I'm sorry, dude. I'm about to crash out. All right. Just let me work through some things here. All right. Current Bitcoin price, $86,510, which is a 31.4% discount from all-time high. Current market cap is 1.73 trillion. And the block height, the only time that really matters in the universe is the block height, and it's currently at 928,443. Yeah, guys, this is why we're never on time based on the YouTube time, is because we're on Latino block height time. So that's there you go. Some alpha for you guys. All right, so Ray Dalio just went on. All right, it's NBC. Meet the Press on NBC. He is saying, look, let me full screen. Ray Dalio is kind of a doomer. All right. First and foremost, he is kind of a doomer, though. Obviously, he's been in the market. He's got a lot of experience. I think there is some kind of weight to what he says. And really, when you kind of hear what he's saying, there is some points where you can point at and be like, this is happening. I don't know about the rest of it happening, but this is in fact happening. And I'll kind of respond to that after the clip. So I'll be right back.
I think that right now we are at a decision-making point and very close to a recession. And I'm worried about something worse than a recession if this isn't handled well. A recession is 2 negative quarters of GDP, and whether it goes slightly there, we always have those things. We have something that's much more profound. We have a breaking down of the monetary order. We are going to change the monetary order because we cannot spend the amounts of money, so we have that problem. And when we talk about the dollar and we talk about tariffs, we have that. We are having profound changes in our domestic order, how ruling is existing, and we're having profound changes in the world order. Such times are very much like the 1930s. I've studied history, and this repeats over and over again. So if you take tariffs, if you take debt, if you take the rising power challenging the existing power, if you take those factors and look at the factors, those changes in the orders, the systems, are very, very disruptive. How that's handled could produce something that is much worse than a recession.
Okay. First off, I think we've been in a recession for a while already. I think everyone kind of feels that. I think we can all kind of admit, you know, the official numbers are saying we haven't yet gotten into a recession. They literally changed the meaning of what a recession was. I think, you know, you talk to anyone, they're feeling the pain. They just haven't actually acknowledged like we've been in a recession.
Yeah,
so
he's literally saying water is wet.
Yeah, 100%. Exactly. Now, the more kind of doomerish take here is the obviously the tail end of he thinks something worse than a recession is coming. So let me just think about this. What is worse than a recession?
Oh, I know.
Yeah,
I know,
what is that?
I know. War.
Well, worse than that. We've been in wars. We haven't left wars. It sounds like we're going to be into a Great Depression, you know? So, hey, you know, he did say we're in a similar place to the 1930s. I don't know, something.
That's why I said war.
Well, I mean, 1929 was the start of the Great Depression. So
are you okay?
I'm melting. I'm
You're
tired.
really melting.
I'm literally dying over here. But Yeah, so I think Ray Dalio's on the fence. He's like, I think we're going into the Great Depression. The greatest
I
depression.
also think that the water is wet.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah, the greatest depression is upon us,
I mean, it's kind of, to be honest with you, it's kind of nice that they haven't talked about it on the news, especially since the news and the media hate this administration in particular. So I find that a little bit surprising, but it's nice that they're not talking about it on the news, causing a panic, even though every single person can feel it to their core. So just, what do you think these conversations sound like behind closed doors?
Oh, they're way more like.
Do you think they know?
Yeah, they for sure know. This is them doing PR. That's my view. Like, this is them essentially hedging their bets on what actually is, and they come out here and they say, they say enough so that they can look back and point to these moments and be like, see, I was like warning you about it, and they knew exactly what was going on. That's kind of my view of it. Though the really big point here that I do kind of agree with is that we are going through a monetary reorder right now. That I think is the clearest thing we've seen right now. Now, whether this is now I look orange.
Now we look our normal colors.
Do we?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't ask the colorblind guy, but okay. Is this what I normally look like? Crazy.
Yeah,
that's my skin color. All right. Okay.
Like, why are the lights so white?
Okay.
Looks terrible.
Okay. Whatever. Anyways, we are clearly going through a monetary reorder moment right now. Whether that's from within the United States, obviously the Fed versus Trump, the embrace of stablecoins, the embrace of Bitcoin, there is kind of this shakeup happening as we speak. Now, also globally, we are seeing that we could also be potentially seeing the U.S. essentially lose kind of their singular polar power in the world. It does seem like we might be heading into a multipolar world, which who knows what that could be. A lot of people have been saying China, maybe some people have been saying Russia as well. There's been the whole BRICS nation stuff going on. So we are starting to see that the world is being shaken up. The status quo of the last 100 years is starting to change. Obviously, we don't know where that's going to end up. The choice from their perspective, a TradFi perspective, is very binary. It's like, oh, either America stays number one or we go into a multipolar world. From our perspective, we're like, look, this is the Bitcoin era. You guys aren't factoring in Bitcoin in this, and whoever does embrace Bitcoin, I think, is going to win the monetary reordering that we're seeing right now.
Surprisingly, I just feel like most of these institutions and, the people in power are still not taking Bitcoin seriously the way that they should. They're still seeing it as an investment. They're seeing it as like, this cute money that like they can play with. I mean, you even hear Trump saying it at the conference last year, have fun playing with your Bitcoins and other things. They don't understand that this actually has global ramifications and that it can get us out of the hole that we have dug ourselves in. So as soon as somebody like actually starts to show them that this is the solution out of what is going to become a Great Depression, if we don't start taking it seriously,
it's so crazy to say. Yeah, we're gonna be in a greatest depression, dude. Everything's chill.
In the greatest depression.
It's super chill. It's super chill. And also, I didn't actually watch it last night, but if you guys did watch it, Trump did this whole like he was kind of marketing it as like, I have a huge announcement for you guys. And what did he literally do throughout it? I kind of heard a summary of it. He basically like kind of lied, or people are saying he trolled about going to war with Venezuela just so people watch it. And the whole conference was like, it's the golden age, guys. This is the best economy ever. Like what you're feeling right now isn't true. The data is in the best economy ever. And everyone's like watching this, like, what the hell is he talking about? Nothing feels good right now. Like nothing feels like it's improving. In fact, it does feel like it's getting worse. Like, what are we talking about here? Like, can you stop the gaslighting? You're hilarious. But can you stop gaslighting me about how good things are? Though the CPI numbers, if you believe those, did come in and they are lower. So, the manipulated numbers are doing a little better, but
Are they the magically missing ones from October or?
yeah. No, they just put some new ones out for December. They didn't even give us the old ones. Yeah.
So things are really bad.
Things are still no, dude, they're good. Come on.
This is the golden age of America. We all believe it because Trump says it's true.
Yeah, totally.
We're
all right,
so
I'm not the only one crashing out. It looks like Sophie's crashing out on the show too.
I am. I just don't even care anymore.
Oh
my
dude.
God, it's only Thursday. I thought this was a Friday.
No, not a Friday show. I like this comment from Lou Faringo. When they stop gaslighting, it's a depression. Literally, dude. Everything right now is being pushed on vibes and narratives and marketing. And in reality, what you're feeling right now. Look, they said they were going to pump Bitcoin. It's at 85K or I don't know. Yeah, 85K. Like, bro, I don't need to hear another speech about the golden age and how the economy is doing good and how they're magically going to make the economy better with no plan. Just pump our assets at this point. Just pump my bags, bro.
Our assets and pump our bags. This is the golden age of America.
Wait. I'm tired of winning, boss. I'm tired of winning. I'm so tired of winning.
Yeah, please. Can we go back to losing?
I know, dude. If this is what winning feels like, I don't want it. Okay, take it back. All right. Anyways, all right. I'm gonna keep going into the news. Because I think I'm really going to crash out on this next segment. This is just absolutely insane. So I'll be right back.
I want to give a shout out to our partner, Ledin, the leader in Bitcoin-backed loans. Unlock the liquidity in your Bitcoin without having to sell your Bitcoin. They've issued $9 billion in loans to over 10,000 customers since 2018. I absolutely love these guys. Not only do I have an account with them, but I also have a loan. And what I love about them is that there are no monthly payments, and you could pay back the loan at any time. As soon as you send your Bitcoin as collateral, you'll have cash in your account within 24 hours. Over 1,000 five-star customer reviews, and they've never lost a single dollar or sat of customer money. Go to learn.ledin.io/simply today, and you'll get 0.25% off your first loan. I want to give a shout out to our partner, sat123.com. Sovereignty isn't just about your money. It's about your communications too. When the grid goes down, most people go dark. Cell towers fail in hurricanes, cyber attacks, and blackouts. But satellite phones? They don't rely on local infrastructure. Iridium has 77 satellites in orbit, giving you a direct line anywhere in the US, even offshore. If you hold your own Bitcoin keys, you should hold your own comms too. Sat123.com also has everything you need to start building your Bitcoin citadel. Starlink, battery backups, Faraday bags to protect your hardware wallets, and much, much more. It's a one-stop shop for anyone serious about resilience and off-grid independence. Stay connected, stay independent, stay sovereign. Go to sat123.com/simply today and use promo code SIMPLY to get 15% off anything on the store. I want to give a shout out to our partner, BitKey. If you already self-custody your Bitcoin, you know the deal with hardware wallets by now. Complex setups, clumsy interfaces, and a seed phrase that can be lost, stolen, or forgotten. BitKey fixes that. BitKey is a multi-sig hardware wallet built by the team behind Square and Cash App. It packs a cryptographic recovery system and built-in inheritance feature into an intuitive, easy-to-use wallet with no seed phrase to sweat over. It's simple, secure, self-custody without the stress. Time named BitKey one of the best inventions of 2024. Get 20% off at bitkey.world. That's BITKEY.world with the code SIMPLY.
Okay, guys. Oh, sorry.
All right, guys, I know that you didn't like my singing, so now I'm going to do some ASMR about the golden age of the economy. If you want the most goldiest golden age of the economy, then you should buy a BitKey. Use promo code Simply for 20% off, or just scan the QR code to make your life easy for once.
Honestly,
Golden age.
so much better. So much better than Nico yelling at me.
Golden.
Okay, here we go. Look, guys, this is rumor, speculation,
Oh, God.
but if this is what's happening, it's the most asinine thing I've ever heard in my life. I'm completely done with Bitcoin, quote Bitcoin politicians. I don't care what Nico says. It's freaking over. All right, check this out. So Connor Brown, who used to work for Senator Lummis, he's now at head of strategy at Bitcoin Policy Institute, and he tweeted this last night. I'm hearing very concerning news out of Capitol Hill today. De minimis tax legislation may be limited to only stable coins, leaving everyday Bitcoin transactions without an exemption. This would be a severe mistake. BPI will be publishing a response. Stay tuned. All right, guys. Listen, did you hear what I just said? They're relegating de minimis tax legislation, or they're going to, not do capital gains tax only to stable coins. What? This is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. It's absolutely the stupidest thing ever. By definition, if it is a stable coin, there is no capital gains on it. Therefore, why would you need a de minimis tax, a capital gains exemption on a stable coin? Like, are you kidding me? This is, bro, Bitcoin politicians. Look, I tried. I think I'm done. I'm done with it. I tried. This is like,
They think
this is the dumbest thing ever.
Yeah, because they think that we're dumb. That's the only way that they think that they could ever get away with this, is because they think that we're stupid. They think we know nothing about money, which, to be honest, most people don't. But still, like, they're cheating everyone. They're like, we did something. And guess what? They're going to spend hours and days and years trying to get this passed, because it's going to go back and forth, because they're going to be like, this isn't doing anything. Yes, it is. It's going to give us the midterms. And people will vote for that because they think that they're getting a capital gains tax removed. It's the dumbest thing ever. Wait,
I mean, let's be clear. Some of us are dumb. I
have a question though. Does that mean that theoretically, and this is not financial advice, but theoretically, if I were to take my Bitcoin and move it into a stable coin and then sell,
okay, now we're thinking,
and then sell
and
that,
use that for something,
no capital gains.
All right, I guess I'm a stablecoin maxi if this passes.
I'm a genius.
Yo, dude, I'm literally at a loss of words here for how dumb. If this is how, all right, this is kind of my, maybe this is the final straw for me when it comes to Bitcoin and politics. If this passes and they basically exclude that little loophole that Sophie said, it's like, it's over for me. I don't care if you're a Bitcoin politician at this point. Like, metaphorically, let's just burn it all to the ground. Like, it's over. It's completely over.
Or just do what you've been doing, Anon, and opt out of the fiat system. Like, maybe we thought that life could get easier by having institutions in the government and everyone be friendly and gung-ho for Bitcoin. But the reality is that the then they fight you stage probably hasn't even started. It probably hasn't. That was like a little pre-battle with the previous administration. This is like a little pre-battle when we see devs from Samurai Wallet going to jail. This is literally not the fight. The fight is going to be having them quote unquote adopt Bitcoin, make the price go side to side, and then gaslight you into thinking that they are removing a capital gains tax when in reality they're only doing it to stable coins and potentially that's like their own little loophole of making you use a CBDC. Because that's what's coming. That's what's coming. And so again, I think that this year Bitcoiners have been sort of punished for expecting everything and the price going up, and we like it's almost like too good to be true because it was. And I think we have to go back to our principles, the long-term time preference, and opting out of the fiat world, because what are we really building if we're still relying on these fiat institutions? What are we really doing here if that's what the end goal is going to be? And if these huge institutions are going to be the ones that are holding Bitcoin for us? I read someone in the comments saying like, it's just so much easier to buy the ETF. Why would I hold my Bitcoin in self-custody? And it's like, that's a skill issue. And second of all, why would you hold your Bitcoin in self-custody? Because your generational wealth depends on it, because it's the only thing that stands between you and the government aside from the Second Amendment, because it's the only hope that we have that power will be returned to the people. There's so many layers to this, and I think that we're finally seeing the mask off of these institutions, the mask off of the government, and it's time to really call this what it is. And they're fooling you. They're seeing you for who you are, and they're taking advantage of your naivety.
Yeah, seeing you for who you are.
Yeah,
crazy.
they are. Listen. I'm a Latina mom, bro. I'm going to tell you how it is. And sometimes we can't be stupid. No seas pendejo is what we say. Like they're seeing you for who you are, and they know that you're lazy. They know that you're weak. And this is how they think that they can take advantage of you, but you can take your power back. You can. It's out there. Like, I love what this guy just said. BlackRock is laughing at all of us. It's true. They're laughing at all of us because they know that they can take advantage. They know that they have the power. And it's time to really stop relying on these people and just opt out. And you'll see how quickly the tide turns. You saw it happen in the election in 2024. You saw people start to bow down, and those who didn't bow down to Bitcoiners and to, I guess I would have to admit, the crypto markets at large, they failed. And I think it's because they didn't have the support of more libertarian leaning people. And I think this is where we have to go. This is where we're at right now. And it's time to take our country back. It's time to take our self-sovereignty back.
Yeah, no, I actually fully agree with that. I think at this point, if we're being completely objective, and I know politics is hard to be objective, it does seem, and I have been very lenient and kind of open-minded to, there is probably things happening behind the scenes, and I do want to see the effects actually kind of play out. And I know all of the dynamics and the power dynamics and the political infighting, all that. But with that all being said, like Sophie was saying, at this point, we got to call, a spade a spade. And if what Connor Brown said is true, then I think we got to kind of, connect the dots here with what happened with the strategic Bitcoin reserve and acknowledge that a lot of the stuff we've heard around Bitcoin, it has been a lot of vaporware. It's been a lot of talk, a lot of good marketing. I think at this point we got to be, actually it's a little too late for it, because the time to be unreasonable was during the elections. And now it's kind of this is our bed. But moving forward, I think, as Soph was saying, we got to take our side. We got to be unreasonable here. And if they aren't doing what we want them to do, then what the hell are we even doing here? This is why we want opt-out money. I think we're hoping, being a little naive, that, hey, if we embrace them, then maybe they'll actually do some good for us. At this point, it turns out that's probably not the case here. So look, if this goes through, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. I was saying if they just completely treat Bitcoin as money, eliminate capital gains, like I'll be cool with that. Just that in and of itself. If they do a stupid de minimis tax on stablecoins, which is like the most stupid thing I've ever heard in my life, like I'm going back to my old days, and I'm just completely tuning out of it. It's cooked. It's over. I'm not feeling bullish about Bitcoin politicians at this point. Love Nico. I love Dennis Porter, but we're going to be crashing out on the show over Bitcoin and politics because, dude, I need to see more at this point. Dude, again, maybe it's just been a year. Hey, I'll take a step back. Maybe it's been a year and I'm frustrated about everything, but I don't think it's too crazy to say, like, I need to see some more. And if this is the type of legislation we're seeing, which is what I've been saying about, the regulatory clarity, is probably going to do more harm than good, or at this stage, literally do nothing. I guess maybe I'm okay with literally do nothing. Like I'd be better off with them literally doing nothing at this point, because this is just the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
I just want to know where the breach in communication is. Clearly, the people in power are either doing this on purpose or they're doing this out of ignorance. And if it's out of ignorance, then I want to know where the breach of communication is. And if it's on purpose, then that means we have the fight of our lives in front of us.
I would venture to argue it is on purpose. This is so dumb. All right. Anyways, I'm gonna keep it moving because I'll probably crash out a little more than I need to. I'll be right back, guys.
I want to give a shout out to our partner, HIVE Digital Technology. Why HIVE in 2025? Unstoppable growth. As the first ever public miner, HIVE's position to quadruple their global footprint, making them one of the world's fastest growing miners in 2025. And with elite operations that consistently top the industry in Bitcoin mined per exahash, HIVE's now headquartered in the USA. They're lean and mean, they're green and clean, and they're rewriting the playbook on sustainable Bitcoin mining. You can catch the latest buzz at HIVE Digital Tech or at HIVEdigitaltech.com. I want to give a shout out to our partner, BitcoinBend.io. If you're into freedom, Bitcoin, and building a real community, this is for you. Gain exclusive access to real-world, members-only, private clubs across the globe, featuring poker nights, expert-led classes, co-working spaces, educational meetups, live events, and more. Current locations include Sarasota, Nashville, Boston, Dallas, Las Vegas, and St. Louis, with new clubs launching soon in West Palm Beach, Scottsdale, Alabama, and beyond. Not to mention Bitcoin Bend's resorts in El Salvador. There's 3 of them, and they're absolutely beautiful. You'll also get access to the first fully backed Bitcoin bank with fiat ramps and savings accounts. It's called Private Key Bank. And you guessed it, it's based out of El Salvador. Go peer-to-peer with Bitcoin bulk buys. Tap into home equity for long-term Bitcoin growth. And join their exclusive mining pools if you're interested in mining. What are you waiting for? Head over to BitcoinBend.io. Join today, where Bitcoin meets freedom.
Shout out to Bitcoin Ben for that super amazing Rumble exclusive the other day. That was dope. So fun.
Yeah, I've heard those rants forever. I'm like, okay, finally Nico can get them out. I'm excited for this. All right, guys. Anyways, I wanted to. I was gonna bring this up a couple of days ago, or rather, yesterday it came out, and I'm like, I've been telling you guys this forever. Kobayashi Letter did a great tweet about this, and they go, own assets or be left behind. And they have a chart here. Wealthier households mainly own financial and business assets. The wealthiest U.S. households with net worth above $1 billion hold roughly 37% of their wealth in stocks, followed by roughly 35% in business interests. Those with 100 million to 1 billion hold roughly 58% in businesses and roughly 10% in equities. By comparison, households with net worth under $10,000 hold roughly 36% of their assets in their primary residence, followed by roughly 34% in vehicles. The 10,000 to 100,000 group holds roughly 56% of their wealth in their homes and roughly 10% in vehicles. Overall, Americans with a net worth of under $1 million have almost zero exposure to equities. The wealth divide is widening, which is just absolutely insane when you think about this. This is what you understand. This is like, even when I first got into Bitcoin, before I even got into Bitcoin, the one thing I did understand, it's like rich people own stocks. They own equities. I need to figure this thing out. Turns out, as I've told the story before, I didn't have enough money to buy stocks. Charles Schwab would not let me even open a trading account. Then I found Bitcoin and I realized, oh, Bitcoin is the only thing to be holding. As much as I don't like the digital asset meme, this is why Bitcoin is, what would Nico always say, the most equitable, inclusive money in the world. It's because literally you could buy $1 of it. You don't need that much money. It's literally permissionless. It's open to everyone. Anyone that buys some can be a part of the network. Anyone that buys some can, buy a portion of the 21 million Bitcoin pie. This is what I've been telling you guys, that you need to own assets. This is what Nico was kind of trolling me the other day about, where he was like, Opti's basically just saying like F the middle class and, buy assets and pump our bags and destroy the purchasing power. I'm like, no, I'm not cheering this on. I'm just telling you what they're saying they're going to do. And since I know most of the people that watch this show aren't the extremely high net worth, like you don't, I'd be surprised if anyone that watched Simply Bitcoin had a higher than $1 billion net worth currently. Now, I don't know if that's necessarily the case, but I'm guessing most of us, we're just like average people trying to survive. Now, maybe there's a few of you guys, and if there is, like, hey, I like my rich guys in the chat. You guys are Chad. Shouts out to you. But I'm guessing the majority of people are of just average means. And this is why I always come out and I kind of like just give you the playbook, what I think is going on, what I think you should be doing, which is obviously saving in Bitcoin. That's what you need to be doing. Everyone can do it. Now, I was just going to cover this yesterday. And then I saw this tweet from Elon Musk, and I'm like, I am going to combine these two because, one, the hypocrisy here from Elon Musk and just the straight stupidity here is just literally, it's off the Richter charts right now, guys. This is absolutely nuts. Okay, so Elon Musk yesterday tweeted, Ray Dalio tweeted something about the Trump's administration, launching trading accounts for families and the Dells, piling in with their, philanthropic work, et cetera, et cetera. Like, who cares? Whatever. This is dumb. Don't care. But Elon Musk responds, "It is certainly a nice gesture of the Dells. But there will be no poverty in the future, and so no need to save money. There will be a universal high income." Okay, so the richest man in the world who just previously passed $600 billion is out here telling you, yeah, don't save any money. You don't need to save any money. Like, there's going to be no poverty in the future because of AI and robots. Hey, you're going to have universal high income. It's going to be great. Like, government's just going to give you money. Like, we're all going to be rich. He's Oprahing out here. Money for you, money for you. It's like, okay, you have 600 billion.
You get a money and you get a money. The money's under your seat. Check the money.
Bro, it is the dumbest thing I ever heard. The richest man in the world telling you
know what I think
don't save money is crazy. I know he probably doesn't save too much money because of, all his assets and his stocks and equities are why he's rich. So maybe that's the flip side of this coin. But he's out here to, let me see, 230 million followers out there, just selling them this ridiculous dream of, hey, dude, don't save money, man. This is literally like, this is Weimar level stuff. This is like
that's why
the highest time preference thing I've ever heard in my life. It's like, hey, we're going to solve all the world. We're going into a utopia, man. Don't save any money. Are you kidding me?
It's
insane.
Era
it's insane. Like, it's literally insane.
money.
It's literally
You won't need to save money because we'll have universal basic income. They could literally do a South Park musical out of this.
No, we need a what was it? America Fuck Yeah.
America.
Yeah, we need one of those.
Fuck yeah.
Oh man. Okay, let's see.
Are those the same people?
I don't know. I think
Matt
so.
and
I think
Trey,
so,
whatever,
dude. But
Parker.
bro, yes. These Silicon Valley
you know what I think it
fools
was?
think God is AI.
I think since he is now like wealthier than Bezos, Bill Gates, and like some other billionaire combined, you know who's gonna freak out about this, right? Yeah, like who are the first people to scream and shout? The radical lefties. And so what is he saying? No. Everything's going to be fine. We're going to have universal basic income, guys. Just relax. Like all of your communist dreams will come true. So just wait. Socialism is almost here. Let me cook and we will make it happen. And it's
crazy talk, dude.
Actually
it's
insane.
Crazy talk.
It's actually insane.
Yeah.
Caleb Hammer from Financial Audit replied to him saying, guys, please save your money.
Yeah, literally.
Like,
please save your money.
Don't know who needs to hear this, but please have savings and an emergency fund because this is a utopian dream that will never happen, or perhaps nightmare, depending on how you see it. So yeah, don't get it twisted.
It's literally insane. Maybe he does have a point if he means like, don't save in fiat. We'll be generous. Don't save in dollars, but you need to save money. You need to save in Bitcoin. You need to save in Bitcoin. I know what he said. I was just, flipping it.
Universal basic
No,
income.
universal high income.
I'm sorry.
High income.
Is he gonna pay for that?
Yo,
are we getting some Elon stimmy checks now? Is that what's gonna happen? It's
nuts.
Ridiculous.
I'm literally on the verge of completely crashing out on everyone right now because this is just like the dumbest takes are starting to come out from every angle right now, and I think I've had enough for 2025. I'm just like, all right, let's put this one on the shelf. This is like Toy Story meme. Like, I'm done playing with this toy. I'm gonna go play with Buzz Lightyear. Like, could we just get into 2026 at this point? Because this year has been absolutely insane. So hey, there we go, guys. I made it through without actually losing my shit today. But
yeah, I was the one who lost it.
Yeah. Anyways, guys.
I was looking forward to it. I was trying to like trigger you into
boys
completely crashing out.
Boys and girls, it's officially over. Not just the show, but everything. Just stack them sats, continue to accumulate Bitcoin. I guess we are really going into a fork world where it's those that have Bitcoin and then everyone else on universal high income, debt slaves,
it's gonna
surveilled by AI, digital ID. I don't know. Pick your future, pick your poison.
I think at the end of the day, politically, financially, spiritually, it is going to be a battle between those who seek the truth and those who want to believe the lies. And if you seek the truth, keep stacking Bitcoin, keep it in self-custody, don't give it to these monetary demons. And just always try to look for what's real, because more and more, increasingly, the world is becoming super fake. And the other thing.
Yes.
Super fake, period.
Super fake and
period.
All right, guys. All right. It's officially over. And by that, I mean the show. So I will be back tomorrow for my last. No, actually,
last show.
No, because isn't New Year's like on a Wednesday?
I don't know.
I think it's on a Wednesday.
I don't know, dog. We work.
I think it's on a Wednesday. So I'll be back in a week. Well, actually, tomorrow's my last show, and then I'm going to take a Christmas break. So, I'll see you guys in about a week from Monday. I'll be gone. I'm going to be gone all next week, Monday through Friday. So last show tomorrow for me. And you guys can crash out on Nico and Sophie for Christmas week. And maybe I actually told Nico we should probably try to get Luke on.
Yeah.
He is, full disclosure, he has been a little bearish, guys. I know, disappointing, but he has been a little bearish. All right. Anyways, on that note, peace out. I love you guys. I'm going to, instead of what I usually tell you to go outside, touch some grass, I'm going to go eat some ramen and cry myself to sleep in my bed today. I'm going to close all the blinds. I'm going to turn on Netflix. I'm going to be a useless eater on this day in 2025.
That sounds
so peace
good
out,
right
boys
now.
and girls. I'll see you tomorrow. It's been fun. I love you guys. I'll see you
Bye.
tomorrow.
Today's episode was brought to you by BitcoinWell.com, a Bitcoin-only platform on a mission to enable financial independence.